What is going on, guys? We are here with another episode of Stock versus Not, and as you can see up at the top, I'm not too excited about this, but I've already started this project and I have to see this to the end. So we are in the Toyota Aqua S, the 2011 version. Here in the States, you might know that as the Toyota Prius, I believe the C model is what they call them. It's the little hatchback that Toyota made in the mid 2010s, sorry. There's really not much to write home about it. It's a front-wheel drive, front-engine hybrid car. You know it. It makes about 120 horsepower, 2,300 pounds. Of course, it's naturally aspirated. And the fun part about it is that these cars come only with a CVT type of transmission. So the game is very realistic with that. So we're going to be having some nice buzzing noises from this Toyota CVT. Let's go to the ranking board, just do a quick recap. Currently in the lead, we have the Jaguar F-Type for the fully modified version of it. That's a sub 50-second lap. And the Ford GT, the 2017, is leading in the stock category. I highly doubt that this Toyota is going to touch any of these records. Let's go over to the 300 performance points table here, because I believe that's where this stock car is going to fall. Currently, I believe the slowest lap is the Toyota Ambulance in its stock form. That is a 1:16.406. Remember, I forgot to push record, and I did a lap before I actually got this recorded. So anyways, that's what we're looking at. As always, we're going to take this car out and then we're going to do 3 laps on it, and then we'll see what its fully modified version can do. This car is very slow, and just so we actually have something to look at that's not just a track, it's very understeery. Look at that. Absolutely great. Okay, so this is the Toyota Aqua. Very futuristic dashboard, or yeah, gauge cluster dashboard situation here. Very Honda Civic-esque, if you know those those dashboards. Prius has been doing this for quite some time. Actually had a friend in high school who, when the Prius was first, I guess, redesigned, that iconic bubbly shape that it came with, I believe like his parents won it in like a one of those like fill out, when you walk through like the mall or something, you fill out your name on a piece of paper and you might win the car. They actually end up winning a Prius through that. So I remember we used to make fun of him because it's a Prius. So as you can see, we only have one gear, and that's drive, and that is characteristic to the CVT transmission. CVT essentially is a gearless assembly, and essentially just has, in very, very simple terms, a system of like rubber bands, or a rubber band that expands or contracts depending on the type of input that you give the vehicle. Now, for a hybrid system, CVTs are actually very good. They handle well with the gas and the electric systems. If you want to go and talk about Nissan CVTs, that's a whole other conversation that we can have, but that is not what this video is about today. So, car in stock form, as you can see, we're on comfort medium tires down at the bottom left, and you can see on the fuel gauge we have that hybrid system kicking on and kicking off as we give it some throttle input. How's this car to drive? It's a car. It's slow. Tires aren't that great, but you can definitely handle the understeer that's giving you with the front wheel drive setup. That's not gonna too bad. Oop. I'll be honest with you, with when this era of Prius is when I believe Toyota had a couple of different body styles. This one, looks-wise, is not that bad. Let's come out here real quick. It doesn't look like your typical Prius, so you're not You know, you don't get that, you know, that weird look that the traditional ones come with, and then you get, you know, plagued by being made fun of after. This one actually looks like a regular car, and unless, you know, you really know it's a Prius and a hybrid, to anyone else it just looks like a regular, you know, small hatchback. It's actually very weird. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear it on the gameplay here. When you get off the throttle, it almost sounds like the engine cuts off, and it's a weird sensation to have. So this is going to be our last lap in the stock form, and surprisingly you are able to modify it in the tuning shop on Gran Turismo 7. Let's hit that cone. That's a +1 for autocross, for those of you guys who know. There we go. We had finished off at a 109.860. Let's see where that puts us on the leaderboard. We're not on top 10, that's for sure. Well, this put us in the 4. I guess it is technically a 400 since we are above 300. 109.860. Yep, so it is faster than the Toyota ambulance. So that is an option for you. If you do not want the Toyota ambulance to pick you up, you can use the Toyota Prius. Sorry, not the Yaris. Okay, so fully modified. You really don't get much more horsepower. The most I was able to get out of it was another 30 from the stock form. However, you can put it on a decent diet. Dropped it under 2,000 pounds. Obviously still front wheel drive, front engine. There was no forced induction option that you can add on. And of course we are now up to 547 performance points, which is honestly a disservice to the car because there are a lot more faster vehicles out there at 547. So just keep that in mind. If you for some reason end up in a 500 plus performance point type of lobby and you're like, oh, let me use the Prius, you are gonna get yourself handed to. There we go. Straight pipe exhaust on a CVT just sounds fantastic. And if I thought that I wasn't gonna get any more views, this is gonna do it for sure. So for the modified cars, we typically will do the 3 laps first. We'll see how those laps end up. If I feel like I can get some better time out of it, we will do a lap 4, possibly a lap 5 redemption round if need be. I'll be honest with you, I really don't care about the Prius putting down a good lap, so I'm probably not going to try to get any good times out of it unless I really mess up all these laps, but I doubt that. Fully set up here, it actually is handling fairly well. We're obviously on the racing soft tires, which is probably why the performance point got jacked up so much. Still have a little bit of understeer. Probably could do some more tweaks to the suspension tuning, but for the most part it does turn and rotate exactly where it needs to go. And look at that, we're under a minute on the fully modified one, so that's good. I think all of our fully modified vehicles so far have been under a minute, so we're keeping that trend. So yeah, this car is, it pretty much does what you want it to do, fully modified. You know, we have the wider track and everything on it, wider wheels. That's the one thing Gran Turismo needs to get an update on how you can do your performance mods, because some of these wings that you can put on these hatchbacks, they look awful, let's be honest with you. Most of the time I don't want to put a wing on it, but just for downforce purposes I throw it on there anyway. Alright, let's see what we got. 57.6. I believe we'll just be able to get this knocked out in 3 laps, and that will save you guys time from having to watch a Prius go around Gran Turismo in Suzuka. This is your first time watching one of these videos. Basically, we're using Suzuka because it's a fairly short course and it has all of the components that you would want in a test track. You have a nice straightaway in the front. You have this nice technical S section to test the car's handling. and on either end you do have some nice turns to see how the car handles on weight changes and different track elevations as well. Nothing crazy, but enough to get an idea about it. Alright, there we go. We're here with a drop of 56.996, and that is actually our optimal there if you look at the bottom right. So let's go to the leaderboard, see what we're at, and we'll wrap this video up. So, did we even make it onto... We did make it onto the overall. Look at that. Oops, sorry. Look at that. The Toyota Prius, fully modified, beat out the stock Ford GT. That is weird. Very, very weird. And just for comparison here, the stock Jaguar here is a 50 or 569 performance point. The Toyota is a 547 performance point. So that Jaguar has 500 horsepower. Toyota has still sub 200. So keep that in mind if you're trying to do some weird lobbies and you're trying to be quirky with your car selection. You will not have a good time in this car. So anyway, that is the video for this time. Let me know how I'm doing. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you guys on the next one.